Hello, I'm Mike Gordon. Welcome back to my perfect playthrough of
Crash Bandicoot 4.
Last time we completed the third warp room, including discovering and completing both secret levels. So in total we have about 18 or 19 Platinum Relics. 17 Platinum Relics. So yeah, because I didn't do levels 26 or 28 yet. So we have 17 Platinum Relics. We have all the gems, and we've completed every level in the first 3 warp rooms. See? So I just Dynamite and Road Crash here. I also got completed Hot Cocoa and Agapus Rex last time. Gained their gems and Platinum Relics as well. That's pretty easy to get because I'm playing the North American version. That's the version I have. And as you see, the total now reads 23 out of 44 gems instead of 21 out of 42, and 17 out of 30 Platinum Relics as opposed to 15 out of 28. So now we are ready to take on the 4th warp room, and this time we don't have to split them up like we did before. But what level should we choose? Well, technically the vehicle levels are going to be difficult, particularly Tell No Tales. Definitely not looking for that one. Future Frenzy I'm going to save for last. I'm going to do Tomb Raider because even though that's technically the easiest, actually I would say the second easiest Platinum, Bye Blimp is the easiest out of all of them. But keep in mind that this level, Tomb Raider has a blue gem that we need to get, so we have to do this one before we do Sphinxinator. And this is still a bit of a tricky level to get the Platinum Relic in, because this is definitely an RNG intensive level. With all the water ebbing and flowing like that, going up and down, you kind of have... Now, we don't have to worry about this for now. Right now, my main concern is surviving all the way to the death route. Again, we need to get the blue gem. We do technically get 2 shots at this. If I fail at getting to the death route here, I could just go for the death route during the relic challenge. Best part is when you do when you activate the relic challenge, the death route will not go away unless you take a death without triggering the clock. But if I miss the clock, I would just go for it. Finally, at this point, we should not have access to the bazooka. The only reason I have access to the bazooka is because I completed the, because of the demo glitch from all the way back in part 1. This is the reason why I have the bazooka. So, here's the neat trick. The invincibility masks, and this is another reason why I chose this level first as opposed to Bye Blimp, and so I could keep the Aku Aku mask, which will allow me to actually completely circumvent the water. With the invincibility turned on, the water will remain at its fixed height, whether it is up or down, thus allowing me access to the death route. And similar to the bazooka, I also if this was a normal playthrough and I was playing it honestly, I also would not have access to the running shoes. Alright, while the water's rising, I'm going to use the bazooka blast. The bazooka in the rain shoes definitely makes this completely trivializes this level. But I will say this is definitely one of the easiest levels in the game to get the Platinum. Personally, not the easiest. Toad Village is pretty easy with the rain shoes. I mean, I first tried under pressure. The dino levels are generally very easy to get platinum in. And obviously Hot Cocoa and Agapus Rex are pitifully easy because in the North American version because their times are based on the levels you found them in. Just skipping ahead because just to save a bit of time. This would be a really long level if I did not skip ahead to when I succeed at that given that point in time. Now I got the blue gem, I can suicide. So now I'm gonna go, ah shit. I thought for sure I would be able to, I thought first I was gonna have plenty of time to not worry about drowning. I can't shoot the switch up. So I'm just gonna play it safe for the box gem so I don't waste away too many lives. I don't have to worry about Aku Aku Mask because that was what helped me get to the death route. Alright, checkpoint, and let's see if we can hit the exclamation mark. Can't hit that Jeff holding the shield. And yes, that is a Jeff holding that shield. Most enemies in Crash Warped are Jeffs. The mummy there's a jet, the guys in the tombs are jets. Even the frogs in the medieval levels are jets. Not everything's a jet. In fact, not a single enemy in the underwater levels are jets. Or a jet. Jeff doesn't appear at all in any of the underwater levels. Alright, let's blow up these two crates over there. Just taking my time. There's no rush to the end. We're not aiming for the relic quite yet, so just take my time. So it turns out I actually blew up that beetle, but I just didn't know that yet. And just like that, we've completed another level. Gem. And with that, we have our... Oh yeah, I never... When you get 2 gems in a crystal in one trip, you get a dick... I get what I like to call a dick and balls. So here's my dick and balls right here. And now I get to go for the Platinum Relic. Again, one of the easier levels to get in the game to get Platinum Relic in. However, you need to know the RNG and in order to have a really easy time at things. And I kept having some really bad luck missing those crates, particularly the Aku Aku masks, which are needed in order to get the Platinum Relic in. Luckily, the stage gives you a lot of time to work with. So I basically waited until the beetle had turned itself around and is heading back to its original position before shooting the bazooka, because that determines the water elevation RNG. Meaning everything here is in a fixed order. And that is also, and not only is this how you get the Platinum Relic, it's technically the easiest level to get the to beat the developer time in it. Which is ironic because I've never beaten the developer time. Up is not gonna waste my time with that platform. I'll wait till it goes down before I get the invincibility. Otherwise, the water will remain in a fixed elevation if I don't, so there you go. And just like that, double check the time, and yeah, I definitely absolutely crushed it. Again, very easy Platinum Relic to get once you have the RNG figured out. I just kept making mistakes. First time you to be fair though, you have to take the death the first time around because the RNG is a little out of whack if you just go straight for it on their first life. But that's it for Tomb Raider, so might as well take care of the other Egyptian level. Interesting enough, this is the only instance of double theming in a warp room. Meaning there's 2 Egyptian theme levels in this instead of 1. Although if you count the secret Aegopus Rex, then the 3rd warp room also has double theming with the prehistoric levels. But Aegopus Rex is also a completely different beast from all the other prehistoric levels. By the way, don't bother taking the left path, there is nothing there. Although I'm just gonna be a hypocrite just to show off that other route. Just wanna make sure I don't take a stupid death here. Now, this massive gap on the floor is very difficult to cross, but there aren't any boxes here. Okay, those nitro crates, but you don't need a bazooka then. So I really don't know what the point of this branching path is because there's nothing here. There's no gem to collect here. You get some extra lives, so I'm now at max lives. That's it. But do keep in mind, however, that the checkpoint, that metal crate checkpoint that I got is something that we will be seeing in the death route. Or I guess the blue gem route is what it's technically called, but they're functionally the same thing. The only difference is that the color gem routes require color gems in order access. Whereas the normal death routes just require that you get there without dying once. Without losing a life once, I should say. If it's time trial, then you don't have to worry about dying. But I'm gonna skip the death route for now because there are some steel crate checkpoints in the death route, and it's very easy in order to hit one of them by mistake in that death route, and that could cause me that could result in me getting trapped there, unable to finish the rest of this level. I will go for the death route once I go for the Platinum Relic, so that's my dealio. So no dick and balls here. Got the crystal there, and now to take on the bowstring. And don't worry about the death route because there are no boxes for us to break there unless you count nitros. It's barely made it out of there. I keep my distance, and of course I have to make sure to buy slam this crate. I bet TNT can blow it up. And now I'm golden. Don't know why I'm still doing this, because I'm already completely capped off on extra lives. I'm just kind of OCD about that. At least I know not to do this when going for the time trials. Ain't worth it. I only missed 2 nitros, which is fine by me. Got the gem and crystal, the box gem and the crystal, I should say. But we might as well take on Sphinxinator now. This time, well, again, I should say, we want to take on the Deathroot gem as well as the Platinum Relic. So I'm definitely going to take quite a few deaths this first go around, because the Deathroot here is pretty tough to do in one sitting. Like, there's a reason why it is littered with steel crate checkpoints. Steel crates are supposed to act as checkpoints. Side note, but checkpoints are completely deactivated in time trial mode, since you're supposed to do them in one take. I'm willing to take that death. Shit. Just skipping ahead to... If I was going for the time trial, I would just skip ahead to the penultimate attempt. But because I'm aiming for the gem, I'm just gonna skip ahead to the successful attempt following a death. And resume where I left off. Again, if I don't do this, this video would take hours long. I think the unedited version of this was like 5 hours long. Because, like, this was definitely the longest video in my Perfect Playthrough series. In its unedited form. I mean, 50 minutes, an argument could be made, is barely made it. Now I suicide. And I'm gonna stick ahead to the penultimate attempt. Getting squished was literally the last straw. Come on. Alright, now this should be the successful attempt. 56 seconds and 70 milliseconds is the time. Man, these Egyptian-themed levels outside Tomb Raider are tough, man. Actually, the last Egyptian level in the game, which is in the 5th warp room, isn't too bad in its own right, but it's kind of funny that the 2 levels that should be the hardest Egyptian levels are actually the easiest platinums to get. Whereas the 2 levels are supposed to be the easier ones are actually by far the hardest. I don't think this level is as hard as Tomb Time, Sphinxinator. But it is definitely what I would consider unforgiving. For me, the hardest levels in the game is to get Platinum in is Tell No Tales. Area 51 is really hard. Which is in a secret warp room. Actually, Orange Asphalt in the 5th warp room is really hard. So, well, Tomb Time is really hard. This one is pretty hard. Most of my deaths and failures in this section could be attributed to the death route. But the big thing that makes the Egyptian levels so hard is the RNG. At least with Tomb Raider, it's mostly dependent on the water RNG, which is easier to figure out, and the times are fairly generous. Anyways, we've completed both Egyptian-themed levels. That means we have to do the hardest one in the game, Tell No Tales. There's a reason why I named the title Dead Jeff's Tell No Tales. It's not just in direct reference to this level, to the name of this level, and because there are Jeffs in this level. If I was to just pick something more thematically themed, I would probably have picked something from Tomb Raider or Sphinxinator, not this level, but this is the hardest Platinum in the game. It's also, believe it or not, the very last gem I got during my initial 100% playthrough of this game. Not 105% playthrough, but 100%, because there are some boxes that are way off to the side that are very easy to miss, and I was stumped for the longest time as to where those boxes were. But if you think that's bad, the Platinum Relic in this Gold Relic is pretty fine. It's pretty easy to get. Sapphire Relic, also very easy to get. Platinum Relic, I don't know why the Platinum in this level is so goddamn unforgiving. But I think at its core, it is basically a mix of the fact that you have to. There are some very tight spaces you have to squeeze through, and you have to contend with really bad wave RNG as in position and whatnot, without ever having to slow down. Looking back, I probably should have done Bye Blimps first, after Sphinxinator, and then did Tell No Tales. But I don't think it really matters too much because Tell No Tales took me 3 hours to complete, like 3 or 4 hours of total film that needed to complete this one level. I had long pauses, so this is where the missing boxes are and why I had such a hard time getting the box gem when I first aimed for 100% completion. You have to actually go over here during that string of ramps. Try to get gain all the boxes here. So you want to go from the right side and then go around counterclockwise to get all the boxes. Oh yeah, bit of trivia too I forgot to mention. I never get to show this off at any point in my playthrough. In fact, you will not... Even in the unedited footage, I never get to show this off, but making waves in Tell No Tales after you get 100% completion of this game and get the true ending, if you choose to revisit any of these levels, say you want to go for the developer times, you can keep your eyes open for what appears to be Crash Bandicoot on one of the beaches. And if you get close to him, you find out it's not Crash Bandicoot, but someone who looks like him and with goofy ass teeth and a big bushy eyebrows. Nothing seemingly happens at first, but then you find out that you can't move at all, and eventually you just take a death. That is Fake Crash. And he only appears in 2 levels in the game, making waves and Tell No Tales on one of these beaches midway through their respective levels. You have to keep an eye for him, but he only shows up after you've 100% completed. Anyways, we got the gem and the crystal. Now we have to get the platinum, and minute 5:23.23. This is gonna hurt. Keep in mind that gold relic is a minute 25:63, which is still pretty generous. And then platinum is like, you need absolutely everything to go right. In terms of RNG, and to be fair, RNG is fixed from either a restart or from a death. So the difficulty has been somewhat sorted out, but it's still really difficult to figure out. Another thing too is that there's no clear signs on where the RNG is located in the levels until you go through it. There are no nearby enemies, there's no nearby bombs that you can keep an eye out. The waves are kind of an unreliable indicator of RNG. Because what matters most is also a mix of RNG and positioning. You have to make sure that Seagull just gets off the box, or you will die. When you have to use a ramp to hit a yellow box, you actually have to squeeze through that, or you'll die. You gotta pick up the Aku Aku mask, because at some point you will need to use it. If you miss any of those yellow boxes, you die. If the waves cause you to overshoot or undershoot those yellow boxes, you will not get the Platinum Relic. And I imagine that you have to be beyond flawless to get the developer time as well. Meaning, you can't slow down at all. You have to hit every yellow box in your path that is along the way. Without exception. Seagull, again, needs to not be on top of the box or you die. You can't hit the box. You can't needlessly put yourself in harm's way. You gotta hit both of these boxes without slowing down, or you will not get the platinum. And here I just cost myself the developer time. Any shot I could have had at the developer time is now gone. I just have to hope and pray that there's still enough time left on the table for me to get the platinum. And of course I have to hit both those boxes, or I'll have to start over. So many, and I just cut through that so I don't have to worry about going around. Yeah, I realized I missed the developer time, but I still was able to get the platinum with more than a second to spare. So that's something. Still pretty close. Too close for comfort, but I still got it. So next level is going to be Bye Bye Blimp, because it's an airplane level and we don't have any Aku Aku masks. And also,
So, Crash Bandicoot, we meet again. Uka Uka and Dr. Cortex want me to teach you a lesson. Well, I've made a few modifications to my mechanics since our last encounter. So back off or be deleted.
Yeah, Engine's back again. And this is pretty much the last Coco level, unless you count the secret warp room. Actually, the penultimate level, unless you count the secret warp room. Was, honestly, my thought process with Bye Bye Blimp was, okay, this is a vehicle level, so this is going to be a pretty difficult Platinum Relic to get, so might as well take care of this one first, and then do Feature Frenzy afterwards. However, Bye Bye Blimp is one of the easiest Platinum Relics in the game to get because the RNG is by and large completely fixed. The only bit of randomization you have to deal with are with those jet planes that continuously harass you all throughout the stage. But so long as you know the order in which to take out these blimps. Another thing you need to take into account as well is that these jets will only attack you if you're facing them, and they're facing you. So right now I realize I missed a balloon way over there. Shit. That's because I was trying to dodge those jet planes. Interestingly enough, this is also another type of level I probably would have done if we could made a cover for it had we gotten a good look at these jets at some point, but no, we can't. We don't get a good look at any of the jets in this stage, so I'm just gonna sell for the gem and crystal. It's a shame because I think these airplane levels are definitely a feature. My thought process is vehicle level means it's very difficult because there's no way to do it super fast. 5150, but actually it is. All you have to do is know what order to tackle these blips and you're good to go. Like, I wasn't even expecting a first try Platinum Relic here at all. So this is the order that you want to take them. The other thing you also need to take into account is you still have to be able to hit these blips from quite a distance. And you have to be able to tank those barrage of jets. Just attack going down you hard. Luckily, even though there's 3 jets that will get on your ass, they aren't as aggressive as the ones in Mad Bomber, so wasn't anywhere close to getting a developer time. I have no idea how you get the developer time at a stage like this, but you know, I did edge out a Platinum. I think you just have to be dead on balls accurate with your shots to get on that route just to get the developer time, but I wasn't able to get that. It's very hard to beat that developer time. Might be possible. The reason why I returned to this hub is because we now have at least 20 relics, which means we can go down here and visit the alternate entrance to Feature Frenzy, level 29. This is the only way to nab both gems, or as I like to call it, the dick and balls. I want to be careful because we don't want to spin them into the TNTs and get ourselves killed. Can escape the alien Jeff. And of course the future levels look like what would happen if Blade Runner ate the Fifth Element and then shat out the Super Mario Brothers movie. Sorry, that was a nostalgia critic type of quote. Old school nostalgia critic, not the current nostalgia critic. If you want to know where Nostalgia Critic is right now, this is, as I'm recording this video, he had just uploaded his review of Muppets Treasure Island, which I thought was okay. And there's only so much he probably could do when his entire crew is sick. So I'm not gonna take my chances and try and get those boxes myself because those two Jeffs have completely taken over the middle of the field. Alright, we took out one of the Jeff saucers, so alright, both of them. Take out the nitro so we can cross over to safety. Again, if you were just playing this game normally, you would not have the bazooka. This is the result of the demo glitch back in part 1. Actually, the bazooka is the reward for defeating Engine. Alright, time to take out these Jeff saucers. Gotta skip over that checkpoint. I might regret it, but I gotta be careful. But I want to skip over that checkpoint so I actually have a place to resume where I left off. So yeah, I got the death route. I basically got the second gem from accessing the level 29 entrance, but it's also the only way to get the box gem as well because, well, there are destroyable crates in the level 29 route. Believe it or not, there is a DLC stage in Crash Insane Trilogy. I don't know the name of this stage. I'm not talking about Stormy Ascent from Crash Bandicoot 1 because that was DLC because it was originally because that level was scrapped for being too difficult from the original game, but it got added into the Insane Trilogy via DLC. Crash Warp also has a DLC stage if you play Crash Insane Trilogy, but it is completely brand new to the Insane Trilogy. It wasn't a scrap level, it is a future level, and apparently it's one of the hardest levels in Crash history. I know nothing about that level because I never played it. Never made it that far into the Insane Trilogy. I made it, I believe, all the way up to the 4th Warp Room in Crash 2 at the latest. I got 100 and whatever percent in Crash 1. I think it's 102% in Crash 1 with Stormy Ascent DLC. But also all gold and platinum relics too. So yeah, we now got all the boxes up to this point, including all the nitros, because I could bazooka them. Yeah, that was the reason why I was reluctant to spin that orbiter previously. No rush. This is just the gem and crystal. This is just the dick and balls run of the stage. Alright, took out the Jeff Saucer. It should be known about Jeff Saucers that they can kill you in one of two ways. They can either torch you with the sides by touching their sides, or they could tractor beam ya. Alright. Now, I do like that there are signs in the background that tell you whether you should use your double jump or the tornado spin. You know, to help players out a bit with getting these. Again, the gems and the crystals are not the hard part, and even the sapphire relics, while they can be a bit of a challenge in there for beginners, are also not too bad. Crash Wars is a pretty easy game. It's getting all the platinum relics, or even the developer times, where the true challenge really comes in. Didn't really need to do that, and we already got all the boxes in the stage before you hit that thing. So here it is, our dick and balls. But now the time has come for us to take on Engine, because we cannot access the platinum because we got all the crystals in this warp room. We can't replay Future Frenzy until we battle Engine. Now I could technically just enter and exit the level, but I would rather do them all in one go.
So, you want to go a few rounds? When this is over, we'll see who's obsolete.
Yeah, a bit surprising that this is the only boss battle in which you get to play as Coco. What's even more baffling is that Engine and Bye Blimps are the only airplane levels in the entire game, though this technically isn't an airplane, it's a saucer. But they're the only airplane levels in which Coco Bandicoot herself is the designated playable character. All the later ones actually feature Crash Bandicoot in the playable lead instead. My mission is to take out the center chest piece first, and then aim for the Gatling guns. Because those are the most dangerous weapons, then you put all your efforts on those two shoulder missile launchers. At this point, Purah basically teams up with Coco to finish up phase 2 of the fight against Engine. You want to take care of that gray thing, because that yellow thing that's hovering towards you is extremely dangerous. It'll wipe out half of your health, 50% of your health. your total health, I should say, which would put you at risk of dying to 1 or 2 hits. So many deaths as a kid because I did not focus on that silver thing. After that, you want to go for the arms and take those out after you take care of that bottom thing. Obviously, when they're closed, you focus your efforts on the missile launchers. Now, your reward for defeating Engine in a normal playthrough is that you unlock the bazooka. But because I already initiated the demo glitch, we just return to the warp room. So yeah.
It's funny how history repeats itself. Yet again, Engine has failed to defeat you. For this we must destroy you! Oh, my aching head. I'm not feeling myself these days. So the end is in sight. Gather another 5 crystals, and again you will have foiled my plan. Or will you?
So yeah, the 5th warp room is where we will be fighting Cortex. I also forgot to mention, Engine does technically have dialogue during his boss fight, but because there's so much background noise, I don't bother highlighting any of it going on because you can't hear what he says. Anyways, before I sign out, I want to make sure I grab this Platinum Relic, because I have no interest of returning to this warp room after this. This is not a terribly difficult Platinum per se, but I was just having a hard time at things. Basically, those these laser crates have very wide damage outputs. You don't have any Aku Aku masks to start, and whatever Aku Aku masks you do get, you have to go wide off course in order to get around those laser gates, or else they will kill you. Like, it's ridiculously large hitboxes. And there's no Aku Aku masks to protect you at the start. Which is ironic, as we still need to make sure to save 3 Aku Aku masks for the invincibility. Oh. I just say that Tomb Raider was probably the easiest level theoretically to get beat the developer time for. Oh, there's gonna be quite a tragedy with the feature frenzy here. That's about to come up. Now, at this point, I don't mind taking damage in order to speed things up along. Maybe not needlessly, but still. Oh, I was thinking of another level, I guess. Anyways, I got the Platinum Relic fairly easily. Was never really anywhere close to competing for a developer time. I think I was mistaking this for another level that I came close to getting the developer time for. Anyways, that is it for Warp Rooms 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4 are completely done. All that's left are Warp Rooms 5 and the Secret Warp Room. Just want to show it off. All Platinum. Done, 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 and done. We now have access to the entire game now. So next time we are gonna take on the final warp room and hopefully take on Dr. Cortex and try to thwart his and Uka Uka's evil schemes. But will it be for good? Tune in next time to find out. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. I greatly appreciate it. With all out of the way, this is Mike Gordon, sign out.